And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Little perspective there, Ben.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Yeah.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. We're going to start the show talking some jazz. We're going to talk to Mike Smith out of the gate. He's got world-famous TV production meetings that happen on game days, so we got to bump Mike a little bit early.
Okay. Move him up. We're getting bumped.
I've heard it's like a thorough makeup session. Like,
thorough or thorough?
Oh, I guess I could see why you'd be confused there. I said thorough.
Thorough. Yeah.
It takes hours to get that face put just like it.
You're talking about a limo. Mike rolls out of bed. Perfect. Pristine.
Well, I've never seen Mike after
Glistening.
he rolled out of bed, so I'm going to take your word for it.
Mike hops
Glistening.
up. Head to the sports mall or wherever we think Mike hangs out.
I know his hair is fine.
Yeah,
I'll tell
right.
you that.
Yeah.
Absolutely no bedhead. Mike's never had a day of bedhead.
You've seen American Psycho? You've
in
seen
his
the
life.
movie American Psycho?
I actually haven't.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. There's a famous how he gets ready in the morning scene. Just like all the things he does to keep his pristine face, ice packs under the eyes and cream and all sorts of things.
Did you ever watch the Lakers show, whatever it was called?
Winning Time.
Winning Time. Did you ever watch that?
So the first season.
So the first, I don't know if it was the first scene in the first episode. It was somewhere at the very beginning where they showed who's that bozo actor who played Jerry Buss.
John C. Reilly.
Who was awesome as Jerry Buss, by the way. And Ron Boone is a character on that show, which is incredible. But they showed him going through the routine to put his comb over together every morning. It's like that guy went through that every morning.
Every day.
That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Joining us now, Mike, did you ever see, and it was kind of a random tangent, but did you ever see the Winning Time show? What was it on, Ben? HBO? About the 80s Lakers. Did you ever watch that?
With Kate Hudson?
No,
that's Running Point.
Yeah, that's a different basketball show. No, this one was John C. Reilly. Who else was in it, Ben?
Adrian Brody?
Adrian Brody. It was about Magic Johnson coming to the Lakers and
Pat Riley taking over.
Pat Riley taking over and that whole story. The Celtics, Bird plays a big role in it.
He does.
It's a really good show. I'd be curious to your opinion on it.
Oh, I need to see it. No, I haven't. I recently saw the Kate Hudson one, which is
was
kind of a play on the whole Lakers situation. But no, I did not see Winning Time. I think I need to.
Dude, Booner is a dang character on the show.
Yep, he is.
Who is Boone?
Boone. Ron Boone is a character on the show because he was on the Lakers on Magic Johnson's rookie season, and they made Boone a villain.
Yep, they did.
They made him a villain?
Yeah.
He's the greatest guy in the world.
Correct.
That's not right.
On the planet, and they turned him into a villain.
He was traded, I don't know how many games into that season, and did not get a ring. That's not cool.
So anyway, Mike, you need to watch that.
Hey, Mike.
Okay, I will.
Jazz lose by 55 to the Hornets. It was a disaster, but not one you ever see coming, but with who was available, not surprising they lost. Then they go out and, the score wasn't that dramatic of a blowout. What was it, 123, 114, or 123, 112, whatever it was against the Cavaliers. But outside of a pretty lousy second quarter, the Jazz were just way better than Cleveland. What did you see on Monday night?
Oh, that's well said. I commented to Lemma many times as we were up in the studio waiting for our turn to go on the air, right, before the game, halftime after the game. I'm like, Cleveland's not that good. And then I'd say to them, are they just not having a good game? Because we don't see them that often, right? But at that point last year, they're 34-6 with the number one offense in the league. They're just not that good. And take nothing away from the Jazz performance because that was an incredible bounce-back win. And their defense was sharp in the second half. you throw out the Charlotte game, which I know they weren't at full strength, and you just look at the defensive metrics from the OKC game, come home on the next night, play Dallas, win that game, and they're right, a Shea Gilgeous game-tying buzzer beater from beating OKC, and then the win over Cleveland at Cleveland. Those three defensive games show me promise and progress. I was like, okay, like they're starting to get it and starting to do it. And those numbers were noteworthy because the other numbers, at other points in the season, right, they're trying to avoid being the worst defensive team in the league 2 years in a row, maybe 3 years in a row. So whatever improvement you have is great, but it's significant improvement. And anyway, I have lots of thoughts. I thought the Jazz played great, and I was proud of them for bouncing back. But I also have thoughts on Cleveland. What the heck? Mobley's not what he once was. Jared Allen was a non-factor in that game. Sam Merrill's carved out a nice career for himself. Okay. I'm happy for him. He's a great dude and happy for the local flavor. But he doesn't move the needle. And, Jake, as I told you on the pregame show the other night, if Donovan's your best player, you're not going to win at all.
Yeah, and I don't. Ben and I were talking about this, and I think Cleveland's interesting because it's really watching a repeat. Some similar things that we saw with Donovan on the Jazz, but I don't know if the current whatever Donovan has become in his career makes other players better.
It's a good thought, and I mean, take nothing away from Donovan's run. Right, the 13th pick, 9 years of 20 years in a row, or 20 points or more, 9 years in a row. That's amazing. This year, nearly 30 points a game. His numbers are good, his rebounds, assists are on par with the norm. His shooting percentages are way up. But that team does not win games that matter. And that's harsh, I guess, but I think that game never entered into what we would call clutch. Within 5 points in the last 5 minutes, I think the Jazz always had 6 or 7 or more down the stretch against Cleveland. They just couldn't get it close. But that Cleveland team is 8-14 in clutch games. That's not going to win you playoff series, and that's not going to get you to the conference finals. And, I mean, they've lost, correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, they've lost twice in the first round and once in the second round in the last 3 years.
I think it might be twice in the second round, but you're regardless.
Yeah, but maybe they're not headed anywhere great. When Darius Garland's not what he once was, and that could be because of injuries, right? He missed the whole 12 of the first 14 games. Now he's back. He does average 19 a game, but I don't feel like he's the threat he once was. And, Jake, it was either you or Tim Lacombe made a good point on our show the other night before the game, is that when your two best players share the same skill set, they rob from each other a little bit. Like, it's not as valuable as if, how you have a Keontae and a Lowry, right, or a Shaq and a Kobe, right? If your two best players share the same skills outside smaller players that can shoot and score, then it's not as beneficial.
Mike, I agree with everything you're saying, and I think kind of what you were saying, the problem is that the Cavaliers misdiagnosed who Donovan is, whether they thought he was a number one or not, or whether they thought Evan Mobley was going to become a number one or a player better than Donovan. They were going to have a championship window open up, which really never just truly happened. So moving that to the Jazz, do you feel comfortable diagnosing who Lowry is going to be when the Jazz put this together, or who Keontae George is going to be when they start trying to win games, meaning do you think they feel confident that they have a number two guy or a number three guy or potentially they're a number one guy?
Well, I think you're seeing who they are. And I think with Lowry, you could say that's who he is. He's better than he was last year. He's better than he was 2 years ago. He's better than he was 3 years ago, which is the year he emerged on the Jazz scene and averaged 25 a game and had great numbers, made an all-star team, most improved in the league. He's better than that now. last year I didn't like the way Lowry played. And that's no criticism of him. I just didn't like how often he caught and shot the ball. It almost felt like he was trying to become a catch-and-shoot, anomaly. And then the Jazz utilized him in a way where I think they wanted to take advantage of his size, put him at the elbow, and say, okay, let's take advantage of this mismatch and give him the ball there. Lowry is not an elbow catch player who's going to win you a game from there. He's also not a post-up player. Now, that's not to say that he can't slip a pick as he did so adeptly in that game late against Cleveland when he went across the lane to set a pick and Sam Merrill bumped him. Lowry slipped the pick and Love threw him a beautiful pass for an and one. Like, he's a great cutter, and he's best in movement, and he's very difficult to guard. So whatever I said about it, what he wasn't last year, I like who he is this year. And I feel like this is who he is going forward. He's 28. Is he going to get worse? No. He's not going to get worse. He comes from an athletic family. Both brothers are professional athletes. Both mom and dad are champions. The kid is a little bit of an introvert. He's wired to be disciplined and work. It's just who he is. So that says to me, over the next 5 years, 28 to 33, he only works harder and gets better. So he is who he is, and I like it. Getting better. If Keontae stays on path for what he's doing this year and continues his same mannerisms and facial expressions on the court, which are way better than a year ago, he's all business now. Not that he was a goofball before, but I don't know that I saw the same leadership last year that I do now. I don't know that I saw the same professionalism as I do now. Like when he scores or plays great or makes a play, his reactions are now that of a champion. His reactions are now ones I like to see. If I'm the coach or the owner or the GM, I'm like, I like this kid. Like he acts like he's done it before and he's going to do it again. So if his trend and his progress and his momentum stays throughout this season, and granted, you can go back like December 1, I don't know how many games it is. It's around 16 or 17 games since December 1. He's had two clunkers. One was an Oklahoma City game almost a month ago, right? He scored 8, didn't play great, but they keyed on him. And the other game was this recent game when Lowry didn't play, Charlotte, and I think he played 18 minutes. He had 4 points, and the game was over 15 minutes into it. Take those games out, the rest of the games, he's shooting 50%, 42% from three, and averaging 30 points a game. Like, I like who that's becoming. The second part of your question is one of them a 1, a 2, or a 3? I don't know that because I don't know how great Keontae can get. But if those are your 2 and 3, and regardless of which one's your 2 and 3, and you find a 1, you're contending for a title every year.
Mike, I want to ask you a hypothetical, all right? If Walker Kessler did not get hurt, and if the Jazz were trying to win every game and didn't do the, lineup dance, were pouring it on, how many games do you think this team would win?
40 to 42. This is where you say take a little longer to answer.
No, I was letting it hang out there. I mean, I actually would be in the same neighborhood, I think. I don't know, Ben. What do you think?
I'm really curious, Mike, how big of a gap you think fourth-year Walker Kessler and whatever this is, 11th year Jusuf Nurkic is. Nurkic is playing really well, and I know the shooting percentages are silly, and I know he does goofy stuff on the floor, but when he's playing well, the Jazz are really, really hard to beat. And the games when he has gone out there, which has been probably half the games he's been out there, he really helps the Jazz win games.
No, I agree. Like, I get my 41 number from, like, the last 8 games in a really tough, difficult stretch, including road games and travel. Those last 8 when Lowry and Nurkic play, I think they're 4-4. And it might be 5-4 after last night's win or 2 nights ago. So Nurk is playing great. His last 7 games numbers are fantastic. 18 or 19 points, 11 boards, 3 or 4 assists. Like, they're great. And he's better than I thought he was. He, at the beginning of the season, was kind of who I thought he was. But now I'm kind of like, oh, like, he's valuable. So I don't know. You were asking something about Walker. The difference between 11-year Nurk and 4th-year Walker, they're different players altogether. Completely different. Walker's a much better rim protector, a much better shot blocker, has lift, has leg speed, has mobility. He's nimble. He's quick. He changes the game at the rim on the defensive end. Nurk, not so much, except his size and girth and strength can corral you some rebounds and win you positioning. And Nurk does that on the other end, too. So he's a factor on the offensive boards, not as gifted as Walker. Walker has a sense for the ball, a nose for the ball. Nurk, on the other hand, is gifted with his hand-eye skills. He's got great touch. He throws little, beautiful backdoor bounce passes. He sees angles. Walker's not wired that way. Walker is a learned offensive player. He can be a bit robotic at times, but that's not to say Walker couldn't become adept in the post or on the catch. Walker's great at catching lobs. He's got good instincts that way. But they're different entities.
Ben and I were, just to further this, Mike, Ben and I want an example from you, but Ben and I were talking about how heavy Nurk is. And not just heavy, but he's like a heavy player. Like, if Nurk's leaning on you all night, it's going to be a long night for you, regardless. And I'm curious, did you ever play against, who was the heaviest player you ever played against? Like, he's just going to lean on you the whole game and you're just going to die out there,
Okay, so I'm in my era, the 80s, like, power forwards were freaking studs. Like, think of Buck Williams. Like, they were just big guys. They were 6'9" to 6'10". They were 230 to 250 pounds. Think Karl Malone. Think Antoine Carr. Think Cliff Livingston. So I'm kind of a tweener. I'm the height of a power forward. I'm the skill set of a small forward. So Roy Tarpley's another example of a guy in my era who's 6'10", 260.
Heavy 260.
Yeah.
Heavy, long arms. My best Roy Tarpley story is he didn't want it every night. So in the middle of my rookie year, I'm starting this stretch of 8 games. And so it came on the heels of a Jazz game. So embarrassingly, I had like 30 tickets for the Celtics Jazz my rookie year for all my college buddies to come. And I played 4 minutes at the end of the game. I was so embarrassed. And the Jazz blew us out, Stockton and Malone. They crushed us, probably beat us by 20. But I did get in the last 4 minutes, and I made 4 shots in 4 minutes. And so my teammates teased me on the bus ride to, the next game or the airport the next morning. Like, Smitty, you played 4 minutes, you got 4 shots up. That's unbelievable. I go, hey, I made them all. Well, anyway, the next night we go to Golden State. I start, and we win. The next night we go to Denver. I start, and we win. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing in the world. Then we go home to play Dallas. And Dallas has, Derek Harper and Rolando Blackman and really good guards and Mark Aguirre, but they got Roy Tarpley. And Roy Tarpley is leading the league in rebounding and leading the league in offensive rebounding at 5 a game. And coach says to me, Smitty, you're starting again. You have one job tonight. I go, what's that? They go, Tarpley doesn't get one offensive rebound. I don't care how much you score. That's your job. Bird will score. McHale will score. You don't need to put up 20 points or 15, nothing. Just don't let him get an offensive board. And I'm telling you what, he must have been on something that night because he did not want it. He was, not even trying. The first 3 shots went up. He kind of meandered to the offensive glass. I put a forearm in his chest and just stopped his progress and did it the next 2 times. And he looked at me and said, are you going to box me out every time? And I said, every single time. He never went to the glass again. I think he was so tired or he was high. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying something like that. I don't know. But I finished with 21-8, and we won. And I was like, Coach gave me a high five. He's like, you accomplished your goal. But like in my day, the power forwards, the best scorers were the 2s and 3s, always. But the 4-men were studs. Like, it was just a different breed. You didn't have any Chet Holmgrens in my day. They were big, muscle-bound guys. Otis Thorpe, Wayman Tisdale. These are 250 to 60-pound NFL tight ends playing power forward. And they posted up, like, all the time. Every team ran plays to get that guy the ball in the post. So, yes, they leaned on you and they wore on you, and Nurk probably has the same effect on some of the other bigs.
Roy Tarpley's been dead for 10 years, so you're probably okay saying whatever you want. And, yeah, famously got banned for drug use in the NBA.
260 pounds, that's like 2.5 bends.
That's right.
Yeah.
Doing the math on the air. Hey, here's a quick number for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Jazz are 8-5 when Nurk grabs 11 rebounds or more.
Oh, I like it.
I don't know if that's causal. I don't know if that's, correlation. I don't know. But it's when he rebounds well, the Jazz are good.
They're 7-3 when Keontae scores 30. I think they're 10-6 when Keontae gets 8 or more free throws. So there's like some cool little indicators out there. Like when those things are happening and when the ball's moving, I bet there's a great indicator when their turnovers are down. When their turnovers are sub 15, I bet that's a good one. I'm going to look that up when I get home. It'll be fun. It's Chicago Bulls, and I don't know. You can't win all 5 games on the road trip till you win the first 2.
So, Mike, have you ever seen the show The Shield or Commish? You know the actor Michael Chiklis, the bald guy from The Shield or Commish? You know who I'm talking about?
I have not seen the shows, but I know the actor and the name for sure.
They cast that guy in the HBO show. They cast that guy as Red Auerbach, and I thought it was a particularly masterful job.
Yeah.
I thought he
good.
was. I think he was really good as Red. So you'll have to
way to bring it full circle, Jake.
That's what I do,
love
buddy.
It. Michael Chiklis. The worst thing that ever happened to me is that Red Auerbach, when he drafted me, said he plays a lot like Larry.
Oh yeah, that's
that quote haunted me because nobody was Larry.
Yeah,
nobody has been since. Yeah, nobody has been since. But that's what he said to the media, and so every day at practicing games, the media says, "Oh, you're not as good as Larry." I go, "Yeah, no duh."
Who is?
Yeah,
who is?
He's better than everyone in the league right now. I mean, it's just.
That's rough.
You guys are great. Thanks for having me on.
You rock, Mike. Have fun at your meeting, buddy.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
There you go. The one and only Mike Smith.
he plays like a bigger Jeff Lamp. Red could have done Mike some favors.
Who was it? Somebody was trying to get. Was it Andy? Was trying to get Will Hardy to compare Keontae George with Donovan Mitchell, and it's a fine thing to ask. It was a fine question, but he didn't do it. He just said, what did he say? Yeah, Keontae's going to run his own race or whatever. It's unfair to make those types of comparisons.
Absolutely.
For the reason that Mike just said right there. I mean, the right answer is, you know what? He's his own guy. Because as soon as you start saying that he's the next this or that or this or that, then you're setting a standard. And by the way, I do think there is a big difference between comps and this guy's going to be that, right? Because we all like to play the comp game.
Of course, yeah.
And just because you compare this person's game to that person's game does not mean that they are going to turn into that person. I think we can all understand that conversation, right? But for Red Auerbach, of all people, to be like, this guy's got a lot of bird.
He looks like Bird to me.
There's Bird.
What?
All of a sudden, the crazy morons in the fan base are going to be like,
I'm waiting for Larry. We got the second Larry Bird. Red said it.
Didn't Larry win immediately too when he got to Boston? It's not like there was like a grace period or anything.
Sure
he was
not.
like good day one.
They won Rookie of the Year, and they were excellent.
So that's not fair.
No, It's not.
Poor
Mistake
Mike?
by Red, yeah.
Poor Mike. I'm sure it did hound him. All right. Join Hans and Scotty coming up tomorrow at RGS Exteriors from noon to 3, 4235 Farm Road in West Jordan. Top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Coming up next, Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ed, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. It's brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, big news from the Hill. Yesterday, Devon Dampier announces his return to Utah. That means the Utes will have both quarterbacks returning.
In my opinion, this is the single biggest news that could have happened to Utah this offseason. Witt coming back, Morgan Scalley taking over, whoever the offensive coordinator was going to be, yada, yada, yada. Truth is, the game is won on the field, and the game is won by who has the ball in their hands most of the time. And Devon Dampier and Bird Ficklin proved to be a very dynamic offensive duo, and I think it's fair to expect they could be better next year. Now, they could be worse because they do no longer have Jason Beck, who was very good at operating with players in that realm, in that ilk. But those two coming back, had they not, it wouldn't have crippled the Utah football team next year, but it would have made it really, really difficult to have any expectations for them. Am I overstating it?
I don't know. I don't. I am so tired of this going and staying and whatever. I'm very close to not caring who's on the team at all anymore. What's Devon Dampier's number? I'm just going to call him by his number. You come in, go.
Yeah.
You know, it's go find a guy. It's probably going to be different than the guy last year and next year and whatever. Like, part of me, and
4, by the way, Devon.
And I understand why you have that take, and I'm not even saying that it's wrong. I'm saying I'm tired of wasting energy on this. Number 4 is back, terrific. Well, number 12 probably would be just as good. So why do I even care?
I do feel that way with most positions. I don't feel that way with quarterback.
I just feel that way overall. I'm just I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm just tired of spending energy on it. Like, people just glued to the snap talk. Like, is he going to announce it? Is it going to be this? What the Smith Snowden did the M thing yesterday on the snap talk or whatever, and
number 2, by the way, Smith Snowden.
Yeah, number 2 throws the horns down or whatever. It's M.
Yeah.
Gosh, what? I'm tired of wasting energy on it. You know what? And if anything at the University of Utah that I've come to understand is that cornerbacks in particular are replaceable because they seem to replace them all the time. Well, who's going to be the next Jalen Johnson? Well, the first Jalen Johnson was going all the way back to the dang late 90s and talking about those guys. Yeah. Talking about Arnold Parker and all these guys that were just freaking studs. They find a different one every year. So why should I waste energy on this other than the bitterness factor if he does in fact go to Michigan, which I'm always in for some bitterness.
But I'm with you. And that is how I feel about the transfer portal at Utah. Defensive side. Yeah, would it be better if you had all these great transfers coming in? Absolutely. And guys who make plays. And is it better that you got Jonathan Hall back than lose him? Of course. You would rather have John Henry Daly here than have to go out and find his replacement. Do I trust that Morgan Scalley can find his replacement? I do. I have no basis to believe that Morgan Scalley can replace quarterbacks. And that doesn't mean he can't, but just we've never seen him have to do that before. So not having to redesign an entire offense, because I still think Utah next year is going to win a lot of games because of their offense, is a major, major plus for the program to allow Morgan to hit the ground running and credit whatever Mark Harlan or Morgan or whoever had to do, Spence Eccles, to keep those two players specifically, Bird and more importantly Devon Dampier, apparently in a Utah uniform.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was sink or swim based on that. I mean, what's that horrible fiction sports book? Moneyball.
Well, I think the book is accurate. The movie's not.
The whole premise was, how is this franchise going to possibly even keep the doors open without Jason Giambi and
Miguel Tejada?
Did
they trade him?
He was still on the team.
Yeah.
It was Jason Giambi and who was the closer? They lost a closer and then they lost Johnny Damon to
Boston.
Boston. And they how on earth are they going to possibly continue? Well, the truth was the super bad guy had a secret formula that was going to win them the title.
Right.
If I remember that movie correctly.
Uh-huh.
Had nothing to do with...
I have a math equation that'll win us the championship. And it didn't have to do with whether they have Roy Halladay or whatever.
They had the best pitching staff in the league.
Yeah.
And the AL MVP, Miguel Tejada.
And Rookie of the Year.
Who somehow didn't make it into the movie.
Yeah.
No.
Overlook him.
It was about the...
Scott Hatterfield.
It's about the Cleveland Browns assistant GM who figured out a way to math it. Yeah, what was that idiot first baseman's name who took walks more than...
Hatterberg, not Hatterfield. Hatterberg.
Silliness.
Yeah.
But anywho, that whole thing was about players being absolutely replaceable by a math equation, apparently. So I will be happy when this is all over, except for it never ends. They say, well, the transfer portal closes, on Friday? What will stop a player from just saying, I'm out of here?
Nothing. Right. No, ideally it slows down teams contacting players, but then, as Mark Ottawaya said, and then it just opens up again, and then it's a free-for-all, and then it's a mad dash to the finish line. But I'm with you. Jake Murphy, who I really like a lot, the former Utah tight end, had a tweet the other day who said, if you don't like free agency in college football anymore, it's not for you. And outside of this being our job, I completely agree. It's probably just not for me anymore. I'm with you. I don't care. I don't care about the TikTok. I don't care about Twitter. I don't care about the I'm coming, I'm going. What does matter is opening night for Utah, who's going to be on the field. And I wish I could skip over all of this nonsense and all the drama involved with it and just say, you got a good team this year? Obviously, that's not what our jobs allow us to do. But I feel for fans. This is nonsense. This is pathetic.
It's funny that you bring up Jake Murphy, and then we can move on. Because there was a narrative around Jake when he left early to the NFL that, Utah hasn't had a good tight end in a decade. They're never going to be able to replace Jake Murphy. Are you kidding? They can't recruit tight ends to Utah. Yeah, that didn't.
And since they've had a run of the greatest tight ends they've ever had.
Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, guys who were playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
A guy who had 300 yards against Stinkin' Riley in USC.
Yeah. Right, a guy who
Jake Murphy, not replaceable. No offense, Jake, but
actually
very replaceable.
Actually, quite. Yeah. No, Jake was a really good player.
He was awesome.
Yeah, no question.
He was the best tight end they'd had in 10 years.
Right. But then you just you just move on. So yes, to undermine my point is, you really need to have Devon Dampier and Bird Ficklin around until you find the next guy.
Until you don't.
You're never going to replace Cam Rising until you have two guys who are pretty good.
What's next?
Number 2, we got the Jazz at the Bulls tonight. Lauri Markkanen has been a late add to the injury report.
Questionable with an illness. Didn't specify what the illness was, but it has been going around.
Well, he's going to go out there and ragdoll his old team.
Well, he just did it against Cleveland.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the Lowry revenge tour.
Yeah, motivated.
Well, the Jazz can beat Chicago without Lowry, though. The last time they played without Lowry, they lost by 55 to the Charlotte Hornets. So,
well, the key is Lowry and Nurk.
Is Nurk not playing?
I don't know.
I think Nurk is available.
But that was the key
Absolutely.
to the downfall against Charlotte.
Yes.
Both those guys being out in tandem. Because actually, Lowry, I know we have a tough time getting over narratives, but has played pretty tough all season.
Absolutely.
He had 12 rebounds against Cleveland.
He had 6 rebounds, I think, in the first quarter or 5, and it was just like he's
against their front line in particular. He's playing tough.
He is having an impact on the game beyond shooting,
Yeah.
which was not true, and it's why I've been historically a little skeptical on Lowry, because I don't care if you're 7 feet tall if your best skill is shooting. Now, it's great to be a 7-foot shooter, but do you do other things that are valuable that 7-footers do? Like rebound, like throw bodies around in the paint, like draw a ton of fouls on a mismatch. And he started doing that. He had Sam Merrill in hell all game, because if you switched on to him, it was a bucket, and the Cavaliers had no idea what to do, because I think they thought they could get away with bullying him with the smaller player, and you can't do that anymore.
No. And if you can't do any of that stuff Ben was talking about, be like Kelly Olynyk and just be able to stab somebody in the eyeball with your finger.
Figure out how to dislocate a shoulder.
Yeah.
Poor Kevin Love.
Poor Kevin Love. We should ask him about that.
I bet he wouldn't talk about it.
Really?
Actually, I don't know. He talks about everything.
It kind of feels like he does. Do it off mic. You can just sell him out.
He might
for
do it on mic. He may not care. Lowry just got a text. He's been downgraded to doubtful.
Yeah. Well, there you go. But
rough illness.
Getting worse.
You know,
a minute.
in all honesty, if people want to talk about what's the difference between beating Cleveland and losing to Charlotte, the answer is how many bigs do you dress?
Let me pull this up really quick. I wonder if the Jazz have a new cooler. Because I don't think it's Cody Williams anymore.
Oh, after his plus-minus against Charlotte, it might still be Cody Williams.
It could be. I wonder if it's Taylor Hendricks.
Yeah.
The Jazz didn't play him against Cleveland, and they won. And that's not to say it's all on Taylor, but Taylor has clearly just not fully rebounded to the player he was going into his second season.
Well, he's still got a long way to go from a skill standpoint, which was always true. All right, what's next?
Number 3, the Mammoth played one of their best games of the season last night. They beat the Maple Leafs 6-1. Dylan Guenther had 2 goals.
We talked to Cole Bagley yesterday on the show, and we did ask about, looks like Dylan Guenther's being moved down to the third line, not playing in the top 6, and then Daniil Boots moving up to the second line. Daniil Boots, a true rookie, and all of those guys scored. Daniil Boot had a goal, his second of the season, I think, and Dylan Guenther had 2 within a minute in the second period when it went from 1 to 3 and essentially put Toronto away. And again, that was an 8 p.m. tip-off because the game was on ESPN Plus and Hulu. It's not like it was the easiest game to find, but a nice performance on national TV. They're playing well.
Here's my hot take, Ben.
Let's hear it.
They should score 6 every game.
That'd be helpful. And you know what they should also do? Allow 1.
Yeah.
Veg. Get
Easy.
back to being veg last year.
Look out, Superbad guys. We've cracked hockey.
I care less about...
I have a formula. Be +5 in every game.
I care less about the 1 and more about the 6, and here's why. I'm going to use my Witt logic, my Kyle Whittingham analytics logic. What percentage of NHL games do you think are won by a team that scores 6 goals?
Oh, it's got to be 85, 90% at least.
Key to the game. That's it. You want to be a successful hockey coach?
Yep. Score a lot of goals.
Tell your team to score 6 goals a game. Bam. Done.
That
Don't argue with the math, Ben.
That was a little bit of Witt's logic.
Don't argue with the math.
That's how they lost to BYU. What did Sergachev do last night? He's been on a little bit of a heater. Did he have another point last night? No, he was just +1. He's been +1. So Sergachev has been one of the more disappointing players for the team this year after a pretty good season last year. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row, they've been +1 with him on the ice. They've been better than they have been worse. And that was not the case to start the season.
Dylan Guenther had 3 points last night, right?
Yep.
2 goals and an assist.
Yep.
What percentage of games do you think the Mammoth win when Dylan Guenther has 3 points?
Maybe 100%.
Key to the game.
We need to get Guenther going.
That you win every game.
Yep.
All right. There you go. That's my advice for the Mammoth. Stay tuned. More next. We got to get to this Rich Paul stuff at some point.
It is great. I'm glad you brought it up. I was
Dying
gonna
to
bring
get
it
to
up.
it. Stay tuned. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's a Wednesday, Ben. That means it's a win ticket Wednesday. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. We're going to hook you up with a pair of tickets to go see Ski Joring Utah on January 16th. What is ski joring? It's the perfect mashup of horsepower and ski power where cowboys, horses, and skiers race through an obstacle course for thousands in prize money. Listen all day for your chance to win, or simply go to proskijor.com. That's proskijor.com. Cool. We're gonna talk the Rich Paul stuff coming up at the top of the 11 o'clock hour, and really what it is an overall NBA conversation, but it will start with him doing a podcast, interesting, with Max Kellerman.
Yeah, good for Max. Good get.
I think it's like the Rich Paul podcast, but Max is the host.
Yeah, Max is the host. You need somebody who can drive the ship, and steer the ship.
Max hasn't worked since Stephen A. stabbed him in the back, right? Stephen A. had him fired, and he still does the boxing, I guess. He's a boxing guy.
Yeah. Which is probably not a bad niche, in all honesty. If you can get in on the boxing thing, there's just not a lot of people angling for that, it doesn't seem like. You can probably carve out a little bit of a role. Problem is, there's probably not that much work.
I will say this, though. If you're fighting the rep of being a LeBron shill for your media career, starting a podcast with Rich Paul is probably not a great way to what do you bet me Nick Wright is a guest host as soon as he gets fired from Fox?
Or maybe you lean into it. Yeah, just lean into your thing. Understand your identity and say, well, could be worse. Again, and not to jump the shark on our next segment, but, well, that's not really the term. But I'm really curious what happens to all of these people when LeBron goes away. LeBron has an A list of hangers-on, A list of F-list celebrities. He's got the absolute best of the best. What happens to all these people?
Yeah, I don't know. Wendy re-upped with the Mouse. I was kind of surprised.
Did he get the deal? Okay.
I was kind of surprised about that. No, I don't know, because the next generation of Klutch players isn't great.
Yeah, they need their guy.
Who's the best young player they have? That's why I'm saying that whoever's Wemby's agent needs to be playing defense right now. Defense.
Yeah.
Because he's the next one to have that heft.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
LaMelo Ball's not doing it for you.
I don't know who Cooper Flagg's agent is, but the fact that he's a New Balance guy or something, isn't he?
Yeah, New Balance.
Tells me that it ain't Rich Paul. How does Nike let that guy go to New Balance?
New Balance has thrown some weird money at people. And I mean, must just be crazy money to get a lot the names that they have. Another kind of funny story locally is that Ace Bailey still doesn't have an agent. Ace Bailey's been doing all this by himself. He got rid of Omar Cooper, who was kind of his manager, but he also fired his agent at the time, and he's just been going. He's been going all Ace, which I think is pretty cool. I have no problem with that at all.
Oh, you don't? I mean, if who was it that Ray Allen, wasn't it, that proved you don't need an agent? He negotiated his deal with the Bucks, and he knew it was going to be a max deal.
I think Shea fired his agent right before he signed his new deal because he was like, "Why am I giving you money?
But,
I'm the best player in the NBA."
But you know what Rich Paul did? He hired, or not Rich Paul, sorry, Ray Allen. He hired Johnny Cochran. Because he's like, I just need a lawyer to do the paperwork or whatever. And I'm sure Johnny took it pro bono for the publicity alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably hasn't honestly done a contract. How long do you think it had been since, contract work usually is fairly early, in your legal career?
Yeah, right.
And now my wife, as a general counsel, does a lot of contract work, and that's just what it comes with the corporate area, So I'm not looking down on contract work.
Sure,
but
absolutely.
Somebody like Johnny Cochran probably hadn't done contract work since he was like 25.
Right. But the right guy.
Could have him walk in and draw up my contract, which is all dictated by the collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, the collective bargaining agreement has written your contract for you.
That's what Ray Allen said. He's like, why am I carving off 10 points or whatever it is for an agent who's literally has nothing to do?
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Ace isn't quite there, but yeah.
Well, the Jazz just got Klutch out the door. If Ace signs with Klutch, they'd be right back in.
Right back in.
Hello.
I know.
Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton, right? I think are Klutch guys.
Yep, both. All right. Stay tuned.
And THT.
Oh, yeah, Hot Dog was too. Yeah. He's him. He's him. Remember when LeBron sent that out? He's him. It's Hot Dog.
That was a good one.
Now playing in Latvia or something.
That was a good one.
All right,
He's
stay
him.
tuned. More next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.